Tired of dying in this brutal new league? Why not face tank it all? Sentinel empowered mobs? No problem. Maven wants us to stand still?
Okay.
Turn Shaper Bullet Hell into Bullet Pals. Turn Die Beam into Joke Beam. Subscribe for more insane builds like this. 50% reduced Exalt drops if you skip parts of this video. Facts. Okay, I got a little bit carried away there. But seriously, 80% of you aren't subscribed. Are you not entertained? Now, because this build is so relaxing and chill, now we're gonna go into more of a chill mode. So just sit back, relax, and tank everything. We can tank everything but degen pools and the beam on Maven. Now for Shaper, we can tank the entire bullet hell, which is really, really darn nice. We can tank the slam, and we can just tank his normal balls. And now this makes Shaper super, super easy, and it also makes Uber Elder easy. Now I'm showing you here a double Guardian map. This is using the Keystone to add in the second Guardian for the Elder Guardians, and you could just tank that all day. So now here is an Uber Elder where we're just basically tanking all the abilities. Just have to watch out for the beam and degens. And then here we're tanking a ton of monsters and a tier 16 pretty rippy map. And I empowered them, and see, like, as long as you're positioned, you can tank whatever. Then we have the Sirus beam, of course. We can tank that. We can tank the balls. We can do whatever the heck you want. So the only thing you need to worry about here is the degen circles on Sirus, and it makes the fight much, much easier. So let's hop in here to a invitation for the Guardians. So we are on the Shaper Guardians. Now this one, the only thing that can kill you on this whole thing is the Phoenix Explosion. Nothing else can actually kill you, which makes the fight really, really darn easy. We can tank Minotaur Slam. We could tank, yeah, just everything. So it's really, really chill, easy play style when it comes to these bosses. Now, everything about this build will be explained in the build guide section. Do not skip that part, or you're going to miss out on some crucial components. Build's not going to function. You're going to have a bad time. You're going to wonder what happened. Do not skip that section if you're struggling. Now, in order to maximize DPS, what you have to do is walk through them so that you apply Brittle, so you get to 100% crit. And what we're currently on is somewhere around like 14x budget, by the way. And we're not using the Omni Amulet, which we would use that in a later version. It's so darn expensive. If you need help with the build, come over to the Discord, because we have multiple people playing this build. You should also note that both Ellen and myself did all the endgame content with this setup. So Ellen's not as good at bossing as I am, and he was still able to do it all. So now we're on to some Elder Guardians here. And what you can see is I could just, there's nothing that really can do anything to me on this fight at all, which is pretty funny. So the only thing you need to worry about is really the Maven degen things that she puts down on the orbs. Outside of that, nothing's going to kill you on this. So really, really easy Guardians here. Now we have the option to pick up Spell Block, and this is without Spell Block, but for 7 nodes on the tree with how I path, you can actually pick up 44% Spell Block, which makes all this stuff even more hilarious. I might actually do that so that I could just tank all the Uber bosses when I switch to Omniscience Amulet. But our damage isn't really too bad, right? For the budget and the tankiness and all that stuff, you can get it done. You can get your completions done. You can enjoy some pretty chill gameplay style where you're not going to die. Now you do have to hit a couple buttons here. You got to hit Withering Step on left click. You got to walk through them a little bit, and then you got to pop Adrenaline by hitting your Wrath twice, and then you got to hit your Wrath every 20 seconds. So every 20 seconds, you have to hit like 2 buttons. Otherwise, you're shield charging around, walking through the enemy occasionally, and then popping Vol Lightning Strike as needed. But as you can see here, see I was taking the whole lightning thing. We don't care. Physical damage, don't care. We don't care. The don't care build, the face tank don't care build, that is what you're watching right now. So I know a lot of you are frustrated with the league and dying all the time, but I wanted to give you guys this setup right here because I think a lot of you guys could do endgame content and have a really good mapping experience with this build. If you're enjoying the video so far, make sure you remember to like the video. Also considering subscribing to the channel so you don't miss out on more awesome builds and farming strategies. Let's talk about general playstyle. So the way the build works is that you need to press Wrath twice, boom, boom, and that'll pop Adrenaline for you. You have to do that every 20 seconds. Then you have Withering Step on your left click, and what that is going to do is refresh your elusive buff, and that gives you a ton of crit multi. So that'll just automatically go off for you. Outside of that, the main thing that you're doing is shield charging around. Now, one thing you need to note is that you have Brittle on your boots. That adds 5% base crit, and it's worth a crap ton of crit. So if you're not applying that when you're bursting, you're missing out on a lot of damage. So whenever you're popping this Withering Step, just run through the boss really quick so you both do the Withering Step and you apply the Brittle at the same time for about 4 seconds. This is on a 3-second cooldown, so you just do it every 4 seconds in a rhythm. Outside of that, you're just basically cast Lightning Strike, and then you cast Vol Lightning Strike on cooldown or to burst a pack. Then for really hard content, you can put down your Ancestral Protector. Now, we have a bunch of auras, and we have things on auto. So we have Determination, Grace, Defiance Banner, Precision, Vitality. And then on auto, we have Assassin Mark on hit. Now this is giving us frenzy charges because of a node on a tree and power charges. The quality on Assassin's Mark is what gives power charges on hit, by the way. Plus you get them on kill. Then because everything's so tanky with crazy regen, we're using a cast when damage taken Frost Bomb. And then we also have cast when damage taken Molten Shell. That way we get this nice juicy shield that absorbs 10,000 damage every time we take a little bit of damage. And then lastly, I'm using Reckoning. Now what Reckoning will do is a counter attack on block. Now I spec'd in to 50% block, and we also have 100% spell suppression. So where's our block? There's our block right there. Boom. We got it. And see, we got good chaos rest as well. Now, on the tree, I path this way such that we're going to get endurance charges when we're blocking, so we don't have to worry about that. But we also have the option of picking up this node, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we have to get this node right here. 1% chance to block attack damage for 5% block on equipped shield. And I have 39, so I get an extra 7 block. So if we grab those couple nodes, we actually get to 44% block chance of spell block. So we'd have 50 block, 44 spell block with 100% spell suppression with 90% evade. So where it would be barely getting hit by anything ever. Now, if we do get hit, what we would get is recoup probably on both of our rings. But right now, I just have damage taken, recoup this life on the body armor, but that helps even if we're not leeching or anything like that. But we also have life gained on hit on our claw, and then we picked up this node for leech. So we have regen, recoup, life gain on hit, and leech for bounce back. Then we also have permanent fortify, so that is really good. Then from our flasks, we are getting immune to shock and immune to bleed and reduced effective curses. Very, very important. So let's take a look at the quote-unquote budget-ish gear. Now this claw is really nice. It's kind of budget. I mean, it has 2 tier 1 rolls with a essenced attack speed. I made this with a recombiner. I basically spammed in the attack speed until I got a lightning. Then I spammed in the cold for the attack speed till I got a cold. Then I merged the 2 together. I kept lightning cold in one of the 2 attack speed rolls. And then we crafted pen on it because everything has such absurd resist nowadays. Since we don't have the omniscience amulet, we need some freaking pen. So we're getting pen here. We're getting some Trinity pen. And then on the tree, we grabbed pen here. Now, I also purchased a Watcher's Eye. You do not need this Watcher's Eye, by the way. And this gives 13% lightning resistance penetration as well. So I have 30 pen. It does help on clear, but it's not 100% mandatory. I just scooped it up for 3x, so why not? Now, as far as other jewels, the only other jewel that I got is a Corrupting Blood one. You really need this for mapping. Corrupting Blood is so darn annoying, especially for the bosses that apply it, like Sirus and stuff. So, claw, and then we have a helm. Now, we just got one that has decent life. I wanted an armor evasion base with the lightning strike pierces 3. Otherwise, we got to get pierce on the tree or some other place. So pierce, very, very important. I went with reduced mana reservation efficiency of skills, and I went with reduced mana cost of attacks, just so we're not running into mana problems. It's always nice to have a big mana pool because your auto triggers need some amount of mana. Like this needs 64 mana to cast, this needs 20, so you want to make sure that you have that pool to automatically trigger. Now, very important on these gloves, we have a Strike skills target one additional nearby enemy. You can get that with the Searing Exarch Lesser Essence, and that allows you to double hit. Now, I went ahead and just got one pierce, so I have an extra pierce, so actually have 4 pierce. Just when I have tons and tons of monsters, very, very helpful. Then one of the main ways we're scaling everything is this perseverance. Now we picked up these nodes right here, which give increased effect of onslaught, and this gives onslaught while we're fortified. Well, since we're a champion, we are always fortified. So very, very strong belt. And then it also gives attack damage for 200 of your lowest of armor and evasion rating. And we're running determination and grace, so we have decent armor and evasion rating. Now they're a little bit misbalanced because my gear is a little bit out of whack because we're in budget gear. Ideally, we'd have hybrid pieces or some armor pieces as well, so that they would be closer to equal. But it is what it is at this point. Then the other important thing is some spell suppression. So on these gloves, I got 19% spell suppression. I have 31% spell suppression on my chest piece here. And all I have is spell suppression, resist, good life, and then those 2 implicits I put on there. I was struggling to overcap on res, and that's why we have the 10 res. Ideally, you'd get increased effect of all auras, and the other one would be increased effect of grace or determination, but these are good too, defensively. Then for an amulet, I was short on attributes, so I just grabbed a amulet that gave me a bunch of attributes and then a little bit of global crit strike multi and elemental damage. Then my shield gives me 5% implicit spell suppress, 31 spell suppress, a little bit of life, a little bit of resist, and then most importantly, I got this 13% block. So between just these gloves, just this shield, and just the body armor, and then picking up these 2 nodes on the tree, we are spell suppress cap. Not too bad. And then we get to pick up this bonus node right here. Very, very strong. Crit strike is increased by chance to suppress spell damage. That's 100%. So it's 100% increased crit. Then for boots, we need Brittle. And then I recommend the life regen. Other one doesn't really matter. You definitely want Brittle and you want to use a grand. So it's 4 seconds. Then I just got some good resists and stuff on it. And then this ring, I need to craft a minus mana. When I ever unlock the craft, it just rounds out our resist. So nothing too special here. Then our flasks, we want them to auto trigger when full and get charges when we're hit. Now I ran out of budget, so this one here needs to be replaced with that auto hit budget or auto hit trigger, and I'm missing a % invasion. So I would swap this out for % evasion with gain charges when hit. Like I said, immunity to corrupting blood, reduced effect to curses, % armor, immunity to shock, and then % evasion. You also could get immune to ignite burning if you want instead. Then for Pantheons, I'm using this just basically for the reduced chill and the cannot be frozen. And then I usually like to grab this one right here, which is 60% less duration of ignite on you and unaffected by burning ground. I've been running the Searing Exarch side, so this basically cancels out the on death effects of most of the monsters. It also cancels out a lot of the shrines that make them leave burning ground when they die. So it's very, very nice. Now, if you get some reduced chill, it cannot be frozen, or just put that on your flask maybe, then you could pick up this instead, which would be really nice. Chaos resistance against damage over time, reduced damage over time taken, and debuffs on you expire quicker. All very nice to have. Or you could pick up one of these, reduce elemental damage if you haven't been hit recently, considering that we're evading almost everything. We're rarely getting hit. Or you could grab this one, but not as good. Then we of course killed all bandits, and then for ascendancies, you do not really want to go this setup. You want to run my budget setup until you get some amount of currency to be able to buy these pieces. So go dual wielding dream feathers like I was suggesting in my 40C budget video. But ideally you need all of these. So the order would be first to strike, last to fall, then this one, then the fortify, and then finally inspirational. But you really need to have all these before you're considering going this type of thing. Okay, let's take a look at gems. So we're using Shield Charge, Assassin Mark with quality. We're using Mark on hit. Then we are using Wrath, Life Tap support, Divine Blessing, and increased duration. So Wrath with Divine Blessing makes it cost mana and turn it into a temporary aura. Adding in Life Tap makes it cost life instead of mana. That's how we can use it to actually proc by hitting twice. Boom, we pop Adrenaline. Then we have Ancestral Protector, Defiance Banner, Precision, Grace, Withering Step, Reckoning, Determination, Vitality. On the main links, we have Lightning Strike, Nightblade, Trinity, Inspiration, Elemental Damage with Attacks, and then Awaken Added Cold. Now, I was using level 19 Added Cold in all the demos that I just did. This just dropped, and I equipped it because I hadn't bought it yet. And lastly, Molten Shell, Frost Bomb, and Cast when damage taken. Now, a lot of people will run Vol Molten Shell, which is really nice. There's an oh crap button to grant a 30k shield. I advise that you probably do that. For masteries, I grabbed 5% evasion rating as armor, 3% attack damage per 5% block. So this gives 30% increased attack damage, 10% chance to gain a frenzy charge when you hit your marked enemy. That's how we're getting frenzy charges. Crit chance is increased by chance to spell suppress, so 100% crit chance. 50 life, 100% reservation efficiency for precision, 15% increased mana reservation efficiency of skills. Grace has 25% increased mana reservation efficiency, 15 all res, so that I'm overcapped on res. Elusive grants 40 multi. We have Nightblade. Supported skills by Nightblade have 40% increased effective elusive. Vitality has 100% increased mana reservation efficiency. Auras from your skills have 15% increased effect on you. Now, this is one of the tankiest characters I've ever put together, and I hope that you're able to do bosses the first time with it, or just survive this league that is super rippy. Stay safe, Exile. I'll see you in the next one.